Hey guys, I'm Shoria, the creator of the app Fixate, and here's a walkthrough on how to use the entire app. So if we want to install it, we can go ahead and go to Chrome, and we can go to the Fixate app website. So fixateapp.dev is the site. From there you can hit try it, open beta, and you can go ahead and click on Mac if you're on a Mac, or Windows if you're on Windows. If you're on Windows, you also need to install the Chrome extension, which you can just see right here. You can go ahead and hit remove. You won't have to hit remove from Chrome. You'll just see add to Chrome. You can hit add extension, and it should just be ready to go. So it'll go ahead and start installing. Okay. What it's doing right now is it's installing some scripts so that it can be used, and it's going to start asking you for some permissions. From here, it goes ahead and it opens up the app, drops you into the home screen, and asks you for permissions. You can hit OK. This will give it permissions to access what other app is running at the same time. And then when you go ahead, say I go to a browser, it'll ask me for permission for that browser. It won't ask me for permission every single time I go to a new tab, but it will ask me for permission when I go to a new browser. So say I opened up Safari right now, it'll go ahead and ask me for permission once again. But that's a one-time thing. You'll never have to do that again. From here, we go to our home page. Our home page has today's tasks. I can go ahead and add a new task. For example, I can say making a walkthrough. That's a task that's pretty relevant. And you can see that as soon as I did that, the planning orbit for today has increased to about 33%. If you create 3 tasks in a day, you already get your planning orbit. So that's something that you can do every morning. Set up some things that you want to do in the day, and then get ready to do them by, say, starting a focus mode. Maybe I want to be able to focus in and block out distractions while I'm making this walkthrough. I can hit start a focus mode and then hit start blocking distractions. And even though I've never configured anything about this app, I can go ahead and open an app like Discord, and you'll notice that as soon as I open it, it hides itself. As soon as I do that, it just is gone. The same thing would be true if I went ahead and I opened up YouTube. Now, all of this can be changed depending on how you'd like it, but as soon as you get it right out of the box, there's some defaults that make sense for a broad range of people. Say I was going ahead, I was here, I was on Google Docs. I'm working on a new document, but I'm now done making my walkthrough. I can go ahead, hit end focus mode, and the app will pop up, give me some confetti, and then I can move on. Maybe I can go ahead and run another focus mode. It's important to note that by default, once you're done with a focus mode, blocking continues. To turn this off, you can just hit blocking. And now that it's white, it's no longer blocking anything, and you'll see that I can just go to Discord and it won't stop it. From here, we can see a few of the other tabs. We can see time spent. I've just opened up the app and installed it, so you'll notice that there's not really that much. Before this walkthrough is out, I'm going to go ahead and install basically all of the time that I've spent on this app and show you what that looks like. But essentially, this is a smarter way to see how you've spent your time. You can see history. Here are, your month's history of your rings and all of your old tasks. Your tasks disappear at the end of the day, so that every time you show up to the app the next day, it'll show up as a blank slate. But, they'll stay here for posterity so that you can go ahead and see how they work. Now, in app status, you can see here are all of the websites that we've already been to. You can go ahead and change things as easily as taking this and dragging it to distracting. You can refresh it once. Say I go to something new. Say I go to CNN.com. If I refresh it, you can see that now CNN's.com is here. with its logo. It'll, in fact, pull up the logo of almost anything if it has a logo. And I can go ahead and move that to distracting as easy as that. Now, if I go ahead and start blocking things, which I can do right there without even having a focus mode, it'll go ahead and hide CNN.com. Now, we can go ahead and see more parts of it. Say I want to make an account. What is an account for? Well, an account allows me to, first off, be on the leaderboards. It shows, the amount of time that I've spent. A leaderboard right now do not have points, but they will in the very near future. Finally, there's live focus modes, which just need an account. And I'll show you why in just a second. Say I create an account. I can, name my account Shoria Testing. I can hit create user. And from there, you'll see that there's now an add friends tab. Now, one of my friends sent me their credentials that you can see right up here. If I go ahead and plug in their credentials, you'll see, it'll go ahead and add them. They've been online for 17 minutes in the last hour. Now, if I go ahead and I go to live focus modes, you'll see that now that I have an account, I can go ahead and create this. So say we name it Testing with Shri. I can hit create live focus. It'll go ahead and create it, and it'll give me the option to invite my friend. I can go ahead, hit invite, and Shri, if you could go ahead and join. You'll notice in the meantime that as soon as I went to a distraction, Discord, to tell Shri to join, it immediately showed up and reflected that change. The same is true for Sriharsha. It'll show up on his side and basically show up a graph that says Shoria is testing. And, once Sriharsha does join, it'll basically show the same thing I have for Shoria testing for Sriharsha. And it's a live feed. It could be really fun to do with, a small group, maybe 4 friends, and you can just see live updates of, what everyone else is doing. I don't know if Sriharsha is going to join this right now, so I'll go ahead and end this focus mode and continue showing you things. I have more data, so I'm going to show you what the app would look like if you were looking at this, further in the future. So if I go ahead and do that and I refresh the app, it should go ahead and show me, there you go, my actual data for the day. Now, you'll notice that, when I open the page, there's some notifications, and they go ahead and tell me, some cool information about what I'm doing better than what I'm doing before. And this helps you stay motivated and try to, be more focused in what you do. Lookaways is a neat little feature which tells you what's taking away your attention. Today, Discord took away my attention from things that I'm trying to focus on 320 times. Maybe I could say to myself that next week I don't want Discord to take away my attention more than 100 times in a day. You'll notice that when you get the app, if you don't use the blocking, you'll notice times where, you're going to distractions way more than you ever thought you would, but as you use it more, those will reduce substantially. For example, when I, started getting this app, I started building it, I could very easily have, 1,000 or 2,000 lookaways in one day. Now I have, 300, 400 lookaways. While that's still a lot of those times I'm using Discord for something actually productive. So it's much less that I'm trying to go ahead and work, and every 2 seconds I'm getting distracted by something because I have the ability to just block it out when I need to. You'll notice down here in progress orbits, we have more things filled in. If you have at least not half of your tasks, like however many tasks you have, one less than that complete. So say I had 3 tasks and I set 2 of them to be complete. Well, then now I have 2 things complete, and focus is based on the amount of time you spend in focus modes throughout the day. So it's really, really satisfying to get all 3 rings complete, and striving for it is something that gives me quite a bit of joy. Okay, from there, I'll show you what, my user profile looks like. You'll see that I have, a few friends already logged in. I'm on leaderboards right here. I'm right here on leaderboards, and it shows on the leaderboards what percent of the time I'm focused, about how many distractions I have per hour, and how many seconds I have between those distractions. 500 seconds is surprisingly more than what the average person will, have between their distractions. For example, Tommy has about 3 minutes between each of their distractions. All right. In app status, you'll see I have a lot more apps, but it's more of the same. One of the things that you'll notice, though, is there's workflows, and I haven't talked about them yet. Workflows are useful for you to be able to say, okay, usually here are the things that are focused for me when I'm working. But right now I'm doing something different, and that different thing has YouTube to be focused. And I don't really want to change my, very locked in app statuses. Like, I've spent quite a while getting these to be exactly what I want, even though actually a lot of these are just the defaults. I can just go ahead and hit custom, and now I have a fully customizable app status that is just the same. And, I've already set this one up, but you can choose to say, okay, block nothing and consider, these 2 things to be focused. And now when you start blocking, it'll take those new things into consideration. The workflow that's blue is the one that's active. Finally, I'll show you history. Here you can see a more complete month, and you'll see a lot more tasks with a lot more complete tasks. Also, in time spent, you get a lot more data over time. So this is, just the data for today, but I could pick data for this entire month, and it'll, bring that up relatively quickly. It does take some time, but, for just how much data it's bringing up, it's showing it quite quickly. So here in the green, we have our time that we spent focused. Red is time that's not focused, specifically is distracting. And blue is stuff that's just, we haven't named it yet. From there, we have our lookaways. This is similar to what I talked about earlier. And we have this graph. Now, it can look very intimidating at first, but if I go ahead and pull it up to just the today profile, it'll make a lot more sense. Green says that, if I have a high green bar, that means in that hour, I was very focused. So at 1 p.m., I was 96% focused, and I only went to about 14 distractions in the entire hour. That's pretty good. And the fact that I was only on those distractions for about 3% of the time means that I probably got a lot of good work done. Now, when you start using the app, before you start using focus modes, it might be a little disheartening to see a lot of red and not much green. But given a little bit of time, you'll see that this green will start to trend upwards. Now, stuff like this is okay. I said that I'm going to take a break, and it's totally okay to be distracted when you're taking a break. It's just also important that when you are focused, you are 100% focused. You're giving it your all. And that's what this app is really for. Thank you so much for your time. There's so many features that I'm certain I've missed something. And by the time you download it, there's probably features that weren't here to begin. You can download the app once again at fixate.com. Fixateapp.dev, and just go ahead, hit try it. Or by then we might have a download button that you can just use. I hope you love it. Comment if you do. Share it with your friends. Thank you so much for your time.